Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Black Prince Gaming and we are here today playing some more Hearts of Iron 4. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of a challenge, so we're going to be playing as Britain, the British Empire, and the plan today will be to see, can we win World War II with only aircraft? So that is what I'm going to be producing. The vast majority, I'm saying probably 90% of my factories are going to go towards nothing but aircraft production. And yeah, we're going to see if us controlling full air over all of Europe will help us win World War II. So stay tuned for the video and please leave a like, comment, subscribe and let me know what other challenges you'd like to see. So first and foremost, let's have a little look. This isn't the first time I've tried this. I did try this yesterday on stream. It didn't go too well, so we are going to be trying again. I'm going for limited rearmament. And what we want to do is we currently are on civilian economy, so we want to just be building up obviously a lot of these states to make sure that we are pulling all of the resources we can out of them. Okay, research wise, so this is where things are going to be a little bit different to usual. Well, I guess maybe not at the start actually, because we still need basic machine tools, construction 1, mechanical computing, and now we got one more slot. So what I would probably do now, where I think I messed up last time was I tried too much to do heavy bombers as well. And I think that is something I will probably research at some point, but I don't think that's a necessity. What I do think we probably want is something like range upgrades. So let's go with that. And then here, what we want to do is probably just leave one thing on trucks. We probably want to make sure that we're producing trains out of here as well. 5 on infantry equipment. We'll keep 1 on artillery just so we continue to have artillery. We'll take away the light tank. And then, yeah, we'll put this at the bottom of the queue. So trucks and trains will be the priority. Well, not the full priority, because the full priority, obviously, is going to be our lovely aircraft. What we'll do is we'll try and finish off all of this being made here. And I'll probably look to do something like make some cruiser submarines, because we will want some sort of ships coming in as well. I'm not gonna increase the amount of dockyards, but obviously we will use the dockyards we have to be building up a little bit of a navy as well. But I'm not going to go too crazy into that. As far as these men all are, we are going to use the colonial garrison template for them. And then we will work out something else probably to use for our cavalry, for our actual colonial garrisons, probably horsemen as we normally like that. There we go, let's send everyone home, and I guess we could work on, let's just say 2 batches of 6 infantry, just so then we can fill out these divisions and have 2 nice 24 stacks for our home island garrisons. Perfect. Let's expand the Secret Intelligence Service. We can start working on an agency, I guess, while we're currently on civilian economy. No need to really do much more than that. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a silent workhorse in, because we want that ticking. Look at that. Political power coming in a day, 1.5 a day pretty much, which means that we should be able to start getting doctrines and everything that we would love to have. Okay, here we go. Let us improve relations, and then we should have hopefully good enough relations that we can send an attaché. Let's stop improving relations, and now we should be getting some nice XP out of this war here. Okay, let's use you. You're a double agent, which should be quite handy. It means we can at least hopefully see what's going on in Berlin at this time. Intelligence, yeah, give us some more economy, civilian intelligence. We want to see what they're building, we want to see what they're doing. Concentrate industry, because we are just looking to maximize the industry we have on the home islands, because we will be pushed back to them, basically. We will be defending quite bitterly. What do I want? What do I need? Maybe I just begin ahead of timing the next airframe model. Yeah. You know what? Let's just use a research lot. We're going to be pushing to get another research slot soon, so we might as well just start beelining for more research, really. Our next pick now will be a Chief of Air Force. So who do we want? We probably... Air accident chance or night operations penalty? Probably air accident chance. Let's just get that down if we can. And then we can hopefully use that. Cool. Keep on developing the planes here. We now have ticking in air XP, which means we can start to design and model new aircraft, which is exactly what we want. And now we'll get these extra factories, which we can shove onto our nice Air Force, which actually, while we're here, why don't we make ourselves the new airframe that we're going to be using. So here we go. Basic small airframe. We want a double engine, 4 light machine guns, 4 light machine guns, and probably extra fuel tanks. Let's go with the extra fuel tanks, yeah. It's going to do down their support, but it's going to be fine. Okay, and then we also want a variant which is going to have close air support, logistics strike, naval strike. We also want a variant that's going to have some heavy bombs. It's going to instead use 2 twin engines, and it will have a machine gun defense turret as well. So that'll be our CAS. So yeah, I'd probably start by saying we want probably 15 on fighters and 10 on CAS for the moment in time, just to make sure that we got a good, you know, a good base here. The Czechs are on their own. Yeah, we'll need to leave the Czechs to their own devices here. Let them be, really. And then obviously we will start mass producing across Britain. Even more military factories. There we go. 5% political power. More war support. That's great. Question of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. We shall send a special representative to basically say that the Germans need to stop now. They will not be able to have Yugoslavia, I think is essentially what we've just sent there. Direct ground support, great. Submarines, make them a little bit better. That's also good. And now I feel that leaves us in a very good position as far as intel goes. Like, we now have very good knowledge of everything they're doing here. Okay, and now I guess we're ahead of time. Research this advanced aircraft, which is going to take 830 days, so a couple of years, but then that'll give us the 1944 plane. Well, the 1944 plane in probably, looking at this, like mid-1942 is what I'm reckoning. So, I mean, we'll have an extra 2 years of usage out of it that otherwise would go a little bit more unnoticed or wouldn't be utilised. Okay, let's wait for these engine 3s to come in, and then we can obviously move everyone over to the latest models. So here we go, the Spitfire, which is our improved small airframe. So let's go ahead and make sure these are all heavy. Yeah, heavy machine guns, heavy machine guns, heavy machine guns. This will now be an engine 3. Yeah, the extra fuel. Electronics. There's nothing really there that's good for us in a fighter, so that's what we will be working with here. So let's get them in. Yep, and now the Typhoon, which will be our next thing here. We will use So we got some bomb locks. We'll probably just put some more bomb locks on it, and then some 4 heavy machine guns too. Anything here that might be helpful? I mean, I guess we could change you over to a heavy MG turret. And you could also have some... radio navigation. We could go ahead and do secure the oil imports. Which I feel like could be very, very handy for us. But though in 70 days we're probably going to be at war, so I don't think that's going to work out that well for us. You know, I'm going to go for it. Just from a standpoint of I reckon India and some of my allies could help carry that fight if we get it off quick enough. If not, we just have the war goals and we can figure out whatever we want to do from there, you know what I mean? We don't have to go in with it fully. Perfect, we got the air up. So hopefully that helps. Okay, or we don't have the air up. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we got a little bit of something going here, hopefully to secure some oil. There's the declaration of war against the Poles. You know, I am just kind of fully intrigued in what would happen if we just completely tried to focus down bombing Germany. Or at least the infrastructure and supply. So there we go, we are in. Let's go ahead and quickly invite the Polish to our faction before they fall. And I guess let's go ahead and call everyone into the war. Yep, there we go, there's everyone coming on in. France, what are you doing? You know what I will do then? I have not really been building a military, but I will utilize the current troops that I have in order to help defend and hold this land. Let us go ahead and make sure that the navy is out and about as well. And there we go, we got a very basic infantry helping hold the line, helping prop up the French here. Which is what we need. Encourage the colonial elites to get even more research speed. Research-wise, what do we need? Let's go ahead and make sure we're excavating even more. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're getting rubber processing so we can start probably building up some of these synthetic refineries just to really help us out with oil. German pressure towards the Benelux. Okay. So this is probably the moment where I pull my men out of the south. And then we look to try and get men in to help elsewhere. Okay, there we go. Belgium is in. So let's try and hold up towards Rotterdam maybe. Let's embargo the Mexicans because they're trying to take away our oil, which we really cannot afford to lose oil right now. The Netherlands have gone. Okay. Let's just try and get men across there, hopefully to help hold somewhere. Maybe we should even just take men off the Maginot and just be holding the line from the Maginot. So let's hold down here as far as Metz. Because you got to hope the French will hold the actual Maginot line itself. It looks like they're doing okay in the mountains. I'm assuming that's with the assistance of my cast. They managed to push back out of some of these tiles. So that is very good to see. Maybe then should I be putting my air over this air zone? Or actually should I just be pulling my air off now? To help out elsewhere. So to help out in the Benelux. Yeah, that might be better. That might be the better play. Is let's just try and force our air over the Benelux. Because that is where they really are focusing it down. We are managing to hold Belgium with all of our air up and over it. Yeah, you can see we are still smashing away at their air force. Look at those, 7-1 we're looking at on some of those trades. Yeah, 7-1 aircraft being shot down, so that is absolutely huge. I can only imagine the amount of damage the CAS is probably making on some of these divisions as well. Yeah, look at that, 2 damage a day, 3 damage a day, so it is doing some very nice work. And hopefully we can keep the French alive, because it would be terrible to lose them. Let's go ahead and make sure we are now up to war economy, and probably also want to be moving our way up to extensive conscription, just to make sure we got loads of men in the field, loads of manpower to keep shoving into these airplanes. Because that's really what we're going to need here. South of France is where they are making pushes, but you can see where we've got the CAS over. Oh no, we don't have any CAS down here in the south at all, but it looks like they are still managing to beat through some units. I mean, the German equipment just looks terrible in their divisions. And I imagine the Italians are probably suffering quite a bit as well. Yeah, look at that. We can actually start to just fully raid the Mediterranean. Yeah, fully raiding the Mediterranean, which means that no supply will be getting across to this African front. And all of these troops tied up down here, they'll start taking even worse attritional damage, even in such stretched supply zones. Like, they're already having to deal with the fact their supply needs to come from the Italian mainland, but now they're actually losing the convoys on their way over. This is huge. There we go, the advanced Spitfire is done, so let's move that onto the Sten. And now we can go ahead and get advanced close air support. And improved small airframes. We now have the Spiteful rather than the Spitfire. Actually, we can only put CAS weapons in this, can't we? Yeah, we can. So I guess we should probably put some small bomb bays on there, because why not? And then some drop tanks. No, we don't need drop tanks. That's fine. Maybe we now stick this to a 2-engine plane as well. Yeah, let's get that going. Okay, great. US, give me even more. Just keep giving me whatever you can. I'm assuming that's pretty much our entire economy probably gone to the US. It's still not. Oh my god, we have such a heavy economy. Like, the fact that we're still managing to produce other stuff while trading for how much? Trading away 31, 32. We're trading away somewhere near 45 civilian factories and still have a huge economy to be continuing to build up. Like, that just shows the pure power that we have here. Let's try it. Let's try and see how our men just perform with basic air supremacy. Oh my god, look at them down here in Italy. I mean, look, let's do a tiny bit of micro just to see if we can't get round for a nice big encirclement. I mean, look at how quickly they wipe through. This is absolutely insane, the power of these divisions. We've just encircled a huge chunk of the Italian army down here in the mountains, and our men just carve through them with no problems whatsoever. Great. That's so good to see. That's Italian tanks gone. There's a huge boom of their industry, like just infantry gone as well up here in the mountains. And now we can just continue to watch as the Italians fall to just the might of our basic infantry units. The literal starting infantry units just marching their way down the Italian peninsula. I'll do a little bit of micro here and there, but mostly this is just battle planning because of how devastating the unit already is itself. I mean, look at that. One infantry unit clearing out 2 Italians. Like, that just shouldn't be the case ever in the game, but, you know, or this one infantry unit pinning all of Napoli. There we go. Literally a handful, and we have that pretty much dealt with. Let's do our best now to just march across to Palermo. Let's take Taranto. Yeah, look at that. And look at the air. Yeah, air damage just being done. Multiple planes. And the longer these battles go on, the more Air Force gets into the battle. So the more damage is ultimately done. Yeah, one division here, just continuing to blitz his way through. Look at the organization damage. 91 support planes are attacking into this battle and adding damage. There we go, and then we just put a little bit more overwhelming force on it. There we go. Italy has completely capitulated there. Perfect, and yeah, you can see everything is basically just going onto our close air support now. So we are just mass producing CAS because we have already won the air war. The other question, I guess, is can we win the air war against the Japanese? I haven't actually infiltrated them, so we don't know what they're currently looking like. But Germany has 256 planes. I mean, the Italians have 2. None of the other Axis forces in Europe actually have any air. What about the Japanese? Can we see roughly? Okay, they have about 3,000, so we already are putting in good numbers against them out here. So hopefully with some additional attacks, strikes, raiding, especially in this region that's a bit more contested, we can just do enough damage to allow the US to begin landings and making ground. What we're going to do now is we're going to go cautious battle plan, and we are going to battle plan with our infantry. And I mean, as you can see, I think the air being up and over and just ticking in a ton of CAS to this region. I mean, the damage that's being done, look at that, 19, 20, 12 to their equipment damage as well. And this is on top of the fact that all of their supply lines are getting absolutely devastated. So that's why there's big supply issues for some of these infantry that are in highly supplied areas of Europe that you wouldn't imagine there would be supply issues in. Like, they're having all of these issues due to my fighters just being up and over and my CAS just going and absolutely dominating everything out here. Let's go up to Emden, to Wilhelmshaven. I don't even know if the Germans will go to war with the Russians, obviously, in this current state. Because remember, if anyone watched it, my Belgium game, the Fortress Belgium game, they didn't actually go to war until... Well, they held off on the war base the whole time. It was almost like there's something programmed into the AI that it won't fight while Western Europe still stands. So there we go. Look at this. Just absolute cleaving through with some of the most basic divisions that we have. A bunch more of you guys are now trained up. So let's get you onto another front. Go on. Off you go. Do what needs to be done. Mexico's entry into the Allies, sure thing. Let's get an even greater coalition of forces. And here we go. You can see our men pushing in now, taking Amsterdam. This is this is looking like the end for the Germans. In late 1941, and we have pushed in almost to Berlin. There we go. Let's crush in. Let's get these guys dealt with in The Hague. I mean, a lot of Germans are going to be sent there anyway. Although we might actually be beating this war before they could do any of the stuff that a lot of them were sent to The Hague for. So, you know, saving millions of lives probably by finishing the war this quickly. Okay, France is still sort of hanging in there, so I'm not going to race to get men down there. But, you know, let's at least start getting men round into German land further. Oh, I mean, Berlin has fallen. We did actually just take Berlin. Purely through the might of CAS. Like, the damage being done across the board is insane. How far does Germany even have left to go? I mean, I didn't even do any collabs because I wasn't sure. I didn't think we would actually beat them this fast, if I'm honest. I didn't expect a victory against the Germans in early 1942. Pretty insane. We didn't even get to do the "we shall fight them on the beaches" speech because France did not dip below 20%. Which is just crazy to me. We managed to keep that good a defense of France that France didn't even lose 20% of their support or their surrender limit, which actually makes a lot of sense because the most they lost was a tiny few provinces in the Alps and I think like Metz and a Mulhouse around the Maginot, but elsewhere we kept even Belgium alive the entire game. There we go, and here comes the army crushing in under our air supremacy. Just the most basic divisions are being used, but the air supremacy is next level. Look at that, 1400 CAS up and over. Yeah, look at the damage figures there. We're ticking up to 50 per day at some points, or 50 per hour. So yeah, their troops do not stand a chance. And there is the capitulation of the Germans. The Germans are gone. Let's confirm and exit, and let's have a quick look at that Europe that we've made. So we have a full British Germany, and also a Bohemia. Poland obviously is back, but look at that British Germany we've managed to save. We have a nice Republic of Italy that's our puppet, and looks like there was a democratic Italy released as well as a France. Oh, this is also part of Republic. I didn't realise we kept hold of Rome. Okay, that's great. Oh, and it looks like actually a bunch of... This is like the democratic Rome, but they still have war goals against the Greeks. So we might end up straight back at war with them by the looks of things. But yeah, let's go ahead and start returning all of these people to their former territories. Okay, the men seem like they're all here. The planes are probably in as well. Well, the planes aren't in. Oh, we don't actually have the airfields. Ah, no, here come the planes. Look at them all from across the globe, heading on in, finding their range. I mean, we got some pretty decent ranged air at the moment as well. But yeah, you can see them all starting to head in from across the globe. The mighty Air Force. I think the beauty is our Navy has weakened a lot of these forces anyway. So look, we now have an airfield, and it's a 2,000 plane airfield. So look at them all flooding in. Now we got the air support we need, and that is the final blow to ensure that all of this is crushed out with ease. No problems at all. Smashing through. There we go, got the surround on Bangkok, so let's just hit that from as many sides as possible. Hopefully there's a bunch of CAS getting into that battle. Yeah, 53 planes into the battle. And look at that, that's weakened them right up there in Bangkok. Boom, taken, and there goes Siam. So now we should hopefully just be sweeping up these last few bits. Look at that, men are already making their way out here. Oh my god, I mean, look at that sweep up of Manchuria. There was literally nothing left there. Japan and China have signed the White Peace. Okay. What does that mean for us, is the question. I mean, I'm assuming that means that any second now we will see this invasion by the US. That's all we're waiting on now, is just a big naval invasion. There we go, they're actually taking more of the islands. So let's go ahead and make sure we build up that. Build up some radar as well. Every island out here just needs, well, radar and air bases. Ah, the US have been kicked out. That's fine. That's fine, we are still doing a number to all of their ships. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. We've got our bombers coming in, so that's real handy. And there we go, is that Nagasaki about to fall? Nagasaki has fallen. In we go, flood in. Flood in the boys. And also, at the same time, we flood in the supply by building up loads of that. And then as soon as we can, we will be building up the airport to just make sure that we've got enough forces coming in. But there we go. Look at that. The coalition forces are all starting to land. Here come the Brits. Let's do it. Marching across China and now starting to land in here on the coastline. Come on, up and in. Let's get them. We crush across and take the airport. Take the airfields. Okay, we at least have this one, so can we build that up even more? Yes, we can. Perfect. Let's get it. they're near Osaka, they're near Nagoya. So it looks like this is probably the beginning of the end for this war, but at least we've got troops in. Let's go ahead and start putting them on aggressive again, so they just start attacking anywhere. There we go. The planes are finally starting to move over, are they? Hopefully. Hopefully they are. That's fine. There we go. Into Osaka. Let's go for it. Come on. The Chilean naval invasion now, where the French were, or is this Chile has taken over the invasion? I don't really know. But either way, it's pretty handy. Perfect. Look at all those troops in Osaka being killed. Now all of you on this front, and we shall steamroll down Tokyo with ease. Perfect. All of you aggressive as possible. And there goes Japan. Oh, we weren't even brought into the peace deal. Okay, that's fine. And we have our war goal. We have our 7,000 fighters that should be pretty much trained up and ready to go. So let's now just put them across all of the things that they need to be doing. And over onto one of our units like this. And then it's just mass producing airfields across the entire border, just to make sure that we've got enough space to be deploying all of these various fighters. Let's go ahead and declare the war. Perfect. Operation Unthinkable has now happened. And we are now in. Okay, let's have a look. How's the air looking? Look at all these different airplanes heading across to the different fronts. There is going to be absolute insane levels of CAS damage being done. Yep, deploy over 5,000 aircrafts into one region. So, yeah, that is clearly showing the power we're about to have. Look at the logistics damage being done out here. Absolutely horrific. And look at the building damage being done, like 10 a day in some of these regions. The logistic damage is going to be absolutely crushing for their army, to be fair. Yeah, and let's go ahead, pop the boys on. Let's just cautiously execute the battle plan, and let's look at the green bubbles. Even if we have red bubbles, the amount of damage each bit of CAS is going to be doing to them is going to be completely overwhelming. And yeah, essentially the majority of this fight is being done by our allies, and we are just watching as our CAS does, look, 6, 7, 10, 11 logistic damage a day. If we have a look at the air map mode now, yeah, you can see, so the air starts to redeploy because I've got troops down here, which means that our allies are now getting the buffs in battle of all this air force coming in and hitting. But we are struggling in that central region around Moscow. I mean, it makes sense. They've probably got a lot of anti-air, and if you're going to focus your fighters anywhere at this point, you might as well be focusing them all the way to Moscow. Go for it. Go for Moscow. Hit in, strike in, let's take Moscow. There you go, just help keep him pinned out. Come on. Get more men in there. Surround Moscow. Yes, look at that. That northern sweep just north of Moscow is huge. There we go. That's Moscow itself falling. Beautiful. The fall of Moscow. So Allied forces have occupied Moscow. Yeah. Stalingrad. Stalingrad is on the ropes as well. Let's grab everyone and tell them to just start attacking. Hopefully we just continue to get more CAS into these battles here. Either way, looks like we're probably going to breach the river to Stalingrad, and then we're just a tile away. Which, with all the support of our different allies in the region, that should be quite a nice and simple battle. There we go. There begins the battle. They're low on org. I'm assuming that's all the bombs dropping. You can see all the planes flying across the screen. I wonder if you could get it so it's literally like there's no way of seeing the screen, or there probably is like a hard limit on some of this stuff.
Keep your distance.
Okay, well, we just keep our air up, and now look at some of this center just absolutely erupting here with our troops as they push forward and as they surge. Every time we touch their forces, I mean, some of these are the penal battalions, but some of these are actual divisions, the tanks. And there goes the Soviets. Okay. Okay, great. I think we got everything we probably could. We didn't. Thing is, we don't get much war score because we are just doing fighter bombers. But there we go. Look at that nice British Russia. I mean, we hold Moscow, so that's pretty important. Look at what we managed with our beautiful Britain. We managed to get 13,000 planes, which were just absolutely devastating to the Russians, as you just saw. And yeah, I'd say this is a definitely very effective military. We had a total of 60 divisions at one point, and even then they were literally the starting base template. So they're not bad infantry, they're not the best. There's definitely better things you could do with them. And yeah, we managed to hold France, stop Germany from taking them, beat Germany by mid-1942, then take out the Japanese a couple of years later. Mostly the reason we couldn't was just we were waiting on someone to invade them. And then yeah, now we've taken Russia. So I'm going to leave this off here, but thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, check out my YouTube channel, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.